This network, RT America, has been accused of producing propaganda for the Russian government from time to time. Let me show you what propaganda really looks like. This is the old executive building directly across from the White House. The vice president's office is in this building. On Tuesday, the Trump administration used this building, paid for by all taxpayers, to host a one-sided radio row to promote and sell the Trump tax plan to the American listening audience. No liberal talkers or anyone opposing the plan were invited or afforded the opportunity to participate in Radio Row or interview the president or vice president. Question more? Isn't this propaganda? Some of the top conservative talkers in major markets were used as vehicles of promotion for the Trump administration. It was free airtime, free promotion, and flat out an unchallenged message presented by the president himself. Meanwhile, not a single word of concern from the Democrats, because I guess they're too concerned about Russia. Right in their own backyard, there's propaganda, and they are failing to call it out. Radio rows are a common practice in the industry, presented by hosts who often have a clear ideological position. For more on this, we turn to an expert in the industry to tell us about the influence of talk radio in America, Michael Harrison of Talkers Magazine. Michael, nice to have you with us tonight. It's been too long. Good to have you on.
Thank you, Ed. Good to be with you. Thank you.
Give our audience a sense of what happens here. What's the history of Radio Row? I know they have them from time to time. I have participated in them when I was doing a nationally syndicated show. Your perspective?
Well, I was involved with the very start of the Radio Rows back during the Clinton administration. He was very talk radio friendly, even though as time went by, talk radio wasn't that friendly to him. And the first Radio Row was back when Hillary Clinton was proselytizing her own medical plan, and that didn't work out very well. Hosts have been brought to the White House since then over the years to broadcast from the White House and to meet with the president and various members of the administration on both the left and the right, both the Democrats and the Republicans. But as the years have gone on and talk radio has become more partisan in terms of its formatics, the ones that get invited are the ones that are most in line with the president at the time. When Obama was president, it was very hard for conservative talk show hosts to ever get a meeting or an invite to the White House. And of course, when George W. Bush was there, they had radio rows that were primarily with conservatives. Now the Trump administration had their radio row yesterday that was really pulled out of the air. I mean, it was a quick thing put together because there was a CNN article about how conservative talk show hosts were disappointed that Donald Trump has been ignoring them, that he actually hasn't been reaching out and going on talk radio on conservative stations. So the next day, all of a sudden, there was a radio row, and it was predominantly, obviously, conservative friends of Trump.
Do they help ratings? Does this work? Are they influential for people trying to message to the listeners?
Well, I think that anything that you do that has such a high profile as broadcasting from the White House with the president, the vice president, and key administration officials is going to create a buzz among listeners. But I think it's more of a prestige thing, especially when it doesn't have time to be promoted. This thing, as I said, was put together in a day. I think it's more of a prestige thing, and I think on a personal level, it's kind of a kick for the hosts who suddenly become very enamored by the idea that they're in the White House and they're talking to the president. There's something about the presidency of the United States that melts even the most hardened commentators. So I don't know if it's like television where it's event-driven and ratings reflect each day of broadcasting. Yeah. Radio is rated in a different way. So I don't think it affects ratings per se, but I think it has an impact on the prestige of the station and the host's reputation.
Has Trump been good for talk radio?
He's been fantastic for talk radio. He's been fantastic for the media from a business perspective. And that's my expertise, is from the business perspective. He's created conversation, he's created controversy, he's created material, and he has boosted ratings, not just for radio, but for talk television. Yeah. Even newspapers are enjoying a resurgence because of the country's fascination with the Trump administration as probably the most compelling reality show of all time.
Michael Harrison, publisher, Talkers Magazine. Michael, nice to have you with us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed.